Speaking of Larry Bird, I like doing speaking ofs. I don't know why. Celtics, Mavericks official. Last episode, it was not official yet, but we kind of assumed since it was 3-0 leads. Fellas, if I told you this was going to happen in February, you would say I'm 50% right.
Mm-hmm.
What did the Dallas Mavericks do right to get to this point?
The Mavericks did something that's very difficult to do in the NBA, which is surge and kind of be, I don't want to say have a Cinderella run, but nobody was thinking that the Mavs would make the conference finals, let alone the NBA finals. But here they are. And that's a lot to do with Luka and Kyrie. Kyrie has successfully returned to his second fiddle position that he played with LeBron. And the Mavericks have also gotten really a lot of good bench production, a lot of, I don't want to say stars, but really quality players emerging almost from out of nowhere. And I also think Jason Kidd is not a bad coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a take right there, Jason Kidd. I like all
He's
the Mavericks memes.
He's definitely not a bad coach. I think he was once upon a time.
I just like the memes.
Yeah. I thought what I thought Ryan was going to say was something that we didn't think they would do, is that they were able to build on the fly. Like, teams don't do that. It's really hard to make the small trade that like pushes you over the top. It's like every team is always trying to make a home run trade. When if you're the Mavericks and you already have Luka, you already have Kyrie. Granted, they weren't in a great spot. I think they were 24-20 at one point. So I mean, one, to have the vision to double down on this roster, have that boldness, but then to do it successfully and not get too, short-sighted, try to make the huge play, just making the small plays to, just tidy up the roster a little bit, give Luka his backup center that he's been dreaming of forever. And they also drafted really well, drafting Lively with like pick 10 or 11. I mean, they haven't really ever had a great center in Dallas since Luka's been there. So that was huge.
Hey, don't disrespect Dwight Powell. Do not disrespect the GOAT.
Former Celtic. I'm not hating. It's a Celtics legend, baby.
Legend.
Come on, baby.
And I liked how y'all both kind of mentioned Kyrie being a second fiddle, and that's what he's good at. That's what I talked about in my latest article. Him and JB is the two best second fiddles in the NBA are playing in the finals. And I ultimately think that when it comes down to it, it's going to be, the series will be decided on Kyrie and JB more than it will be Tatum and Luka.
I don't disagree with that.
I also like what Spencer, you said, how they don't, or was that you, Ryan? Sorry, I got a short memory. They didn't need a home run for the trade deadline. They didn't need a home run. They hit a couple doubles, scored a run. So
that's all you need to do sometimes.
Yep, exactly. So I like the moves, and they definitely did it better than teams like the 76ers have done it in the past.
Well, I like what you said about the second best player thing. I don't want to say it concrete, but I've thought a lot in the playoffs that you might only be as good as your second best guy. That's why I didn't really love Minnesota to make a crazy deep run. Obviously, you have to applaud them. Your best player is 22 years old. You get to the conference finals, but after Anthony Edwards, you just weren't that worried or concerned about who else would beat you. Karl Anthony Towns has had some moments in these playoffs, but largely he kind of reverted to what we know him to be. And that's just an inconsistent guy who, even if he was taking some good shots that you like for him, a lot of the times they weren't falling, especially in that Dallas series. And then you mix that with the dumb fouls and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, Dallas has a fantastic second option, better than any team that they faced along the way. Because if it was the Clippers, it was either James Harden or Paul George. Neither of them really took the reins as the first option, with Kawhi being out. And then in OKC, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, they're just too young, too unproven. And then with Minnesota, it's just kind of Ant as your lead guy, and then kind of a flurry of other talented players, but nobody as good as Kyrie as a second option.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun series. Definitely going to come down to the second fiddles and the role players. If you read my article, Spencer, you did, and you said I don't mean it. I have the Mavericks. I have the Mavericks in 7.
I know you don't mean it. I know you don't mean it, man.
I'm not rooting for either team, if I'm being honest. I hope they both lose. I don't know. I just got a good feeling about Kyrie. He's been quiet. He's been quiet in a good way in terms of staying out of the media, really.
Oh, I've got something to say about that.
And I'm sure you do. And Kyrie's coming back to Boston for vengeance.
He's never won in Boston since he left.
For vengeance, exactly.
Ryan, we know this all too well.
He's changing the narrative.
We know this all too well. This guy's going to snap. He gave a presser today where, oh my God, he couldn't have been nicer. He could. Oh, well, you know, the last time I was in Boston, it wasn't so good. I gave the double birds, and you know, that's just not me. That's just not me. That's not who I am. Yes, it is.
It is.
You've played nice for 8 months. Good on you. We're proud of you. You know, if it's real, it's real. But we know you to be something much different. So the double birds and TD Garden, the stomping on the logo, he has said some pretty vulgar things that Will would edit out of this podcast if I repeated them.
Was he wrong though? No.
Yes.
Stop.
Sorry, I had to put this on because my white shirt was just.
Yeah, it was. It was bad. I was gonna say something.
Yeah.
He looked like shit.
My lighting needs to be fixed. Anyways, keep going. I don't know, man. Kyrie did nothing wrong with Boston. Boston did everything to him.
Yeah,
right,
okay.
So,
stop.
So, first of all, bait. Not even going to rise to the bait. But yeah, we're going to see what happens. If there's one city and one arena that gets under Kyrie Irving's skin, it is the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts.
It is Boston.
I do think that it really depends on the Kyrie Irving that we get. If he can actually play the way we've seen him able to play in the playoffs and the finals, then it might be a lot more interesting of a series. But I think you look at it on paper, and I said this to Will before we started recording, and it's not a difficult matchup to predict if you look at these two teams. The Celtics have more depth. The Celtics have more star power. The Celtics have, outside of Kyrie Irving, players that have been there before. I think that Tatum and I think Brown and I think the rest of the team are hungry. I think they want it. Now, getting there and winning it are two very different things.
Well, both teams want it. I mean, both teams want it. I would disagree on depth. I think Dallas is even matched on the bench.
That's crazy. That's a
with
miserable
take.
That is a miserable
take. Utilization. Listen,
pull up the roster.
Who are you looking forward to coming off the bench in the finals?
Both benches are top 5 in plus minus field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, and the Mavericks bench has the edge in points per game, rebounds per game, blocks per game, and assists per game.
Against which teams? But also
not much.
You got
playoff teams. This is this year's playoffs. I'm saying with bench utilization and how they're being used right now, both benches are quite even if you look at it.
Ryan's done.
No, I was sending a message.
Said, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, don't understand it.
Is the mic bad on my end?
It's kind of loud. It's kind of hurting my gentle ears.
Spencer didn't think so.
I don't think so, but I've turned the volume down on my headphones, so that might just be.
You might have to do that.
Yeah, but then
I don't know.
Spencer's gonna be a little
that's
quiet.
What you got to do, baby. Don't overthink it.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, here, let me.
No, you're good. You're sufferable now, okay. And Spence isn't too quiet.
Just making more work anyway, just giving our editor more work, man.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Anyway,
we'll just coach you on the bench stats,
but to each their own. Agree to disagree there. I used stats to back up my opinion, and you used your fandom, and that's okay. That's okay.
That's not. No. See.
I'll be a net neutral here between both of y'all. I just don't think that it's going to matter a lot. Like once you get to the finals, you play 6 or 7 guys. Dallas has probably if Porzingis is back, then I think the 6th guy is pretty even. I think Gafford is really good. And I think obviously Al Horford, I'm huge on Al Horford. So I think they kind of neutralize one another coming off the bench. And then the seventh guy, I think we'll get some Pritchard minutes in the finals. Not many.
Yes.
Kind of some stretches, like maybe to start the second quarter to give the backcourt a little bit of relief. Maybe we play Sam Hauser a little bit and see if it goes well.
Yikes.
But like,
I mean, when he's on from three,
well.
you play
when
6 or 7 guys. Like Luke Cornett's probably not going to see much of the floor. You know, you just play your 6 or 7 guys, and that's what you do. It's the NBA Finals.
Argue Cornett's one of the better bench players on the Celtics, if not.
He is. He's just matchup dependent. So if he finds himself struggling with Lively and Gafford, he will not see much of the floor
because he's not as. He
was more
gifted.
He was more important in the Cleveland series and the earlier series with Porzingis back, and this. I mean, everybody's kind of wondering like if Porzingis is going to be back. All the signs are pointing to he's back. Like he said, he'll be back.
Game 2 by the absolute latest.
He had a full practice today with the Celtics.
He's been practicing. He tweeted he'll be back. The Celtics have tweeted he'll be back. I think he's fine. You might worry about a little bit of game 1 rust, but I think he's going to be okay.
All right. So predictions. We'll go winner and finals
games.
MVP. And games, yes. So, Ryan, we'll start with you since you're in the middle.
Okay.
For today's episode.
Pick some crazy ass finals MVP.
I'm gonna say
Drew Holiday.
I'm gonna say Celtics win the series in 6 games. Jaylen Brown is finals MVP, and I think that they win playing Missoula ball. They're gonna shoot a lot of threes. They're gonna have insane ball movement, jarring pickup double teams. It's going to be fast. It's going to be a little weird at times. There's going to be a few really ugly stretches, but I think that it's going to be a 6-game version of the Pacers series where a lot of those games were dogfights, but the Celtics still found a way.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad take at all. All right, Spencer, go ahead.
I'm going for the clean sweep here. I can't wait for Will. I'm going to tell Will to make the graphic, put my face on it, and
that's
put
fine.
My big sweep on there. And this is my biggest take yet as a podcaster. I'm going to die on this one. I think the Celtics win in 5. Not going to go the distance. It's going to be Celtics are minus 220, boys. The narratives about Luka and Kyrie are cool. Hey, man, this is not – the Celtics are going to wipe the floor with Dallas most of these games. I have
a follow-up question when you're done.
A lot of evidence of the Luka-Kyrie pairing against Boston regular season. I know. It doesn't change the fact – trading for Gafford in Washington won't change the fact that those two will be hunted relentlessly. And nobody has hunted Luka and Kyrie relentlessly in the playoffs so far. I know that the big bad path they took to the finals, it's really not that serious. I mean, they faced inexperienced youthful teams that, the best team they would have faced would have been a fully healthy Clippers, but Kawhi didn't really play, and when he did, he looked like a shell of himself. I know this Wolves team looked really good against Denver. Didn't happen in the Western Conference Finals. You can credit a lot of that to Dallas, but I just think it was too early for them as well. Celtics in 5.
They beat the 1 seed. They beat the 3 seed. They beat the 4 seed. I don't know.
Jayson Tatum, finals MVP. I don't think that's up for debate. He's going to have a cool 30, 10, and 6, just like he has for the last 2 rounds. And yeah. Celtics in 5.
30 points on 30 shots. It's going to be awesome.
However many shots it takes, baby. We're going down swinging. We're going out with our first ring since 2008.
Hi, I have a question for Spencer. Do you think that the one game the Mavericks win is going to be a 10 to 20 point victory or a Kyrie Irving game-winning 3? falling
The
out of the
game-winning
corner.
3 would be devastating, especially if it's in like a game 1 or game 2. Losing game 1 would
very
suck.
much be. I think if in your situation, Spencer, your scenario, you are setting yourself up for a game 1 Mavericks victory, and you're going to be sweating the rest of the finals.
Not if we reverse sweep.
Dallas is going to take game 1 or 2. They're winning one of those 2 games.
I don't know.
I would argue they win one in.
I think they're winning game 3, and that'll be their one.
I think they win 2 and 4, 5, 6, 7 up for grabs. And I have Dallas in 7, and I have Luka as my Finals MVP.
Okay, well, it would be.
But I mean, that's just a vanilla pick if you're going to pick Dallas. I can very much see it. Boston in 7 with Jaylen Brown taking it home. I would love to see Tatum get over the playoff choker allegations. So we'll have to wait and see.
That's all they are is allegations.
Until then, I'm just
that's all they are is narratives.
Can you beat the allegations? This is the question.
They're really unfair allegations.
This is the finals. These allegations. This is the finals that'll clear him, or he's getting sent to China. Really,
2022 redemption is on the way.
I'm fine with the Jayson Tatum being a little soft allegations. I'm fine with those. I'm not fine with the playoff choker allegations because he has put up master classes in the playoffs.
They're just allegations.
My source
they're loosely
is 2022
based.
NBA Finals. 2022 NBA Finals. We watched some of the worst star play in recent memory.
Judge the 24-year-old, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you're in the finals and you're the best player on that team, I don't care. Look at the hate LeBron got at age 22 when he went to the finals.
Look at the love Anthony Edwards is getting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Ant didn't make the finals. He's not getting dragged hard enough for what happened in this Western Conference Finals.
I've seen him get dragged pretty hard with the Chipotle meme.
The Chipotle meme is awesome. Like, man, you can't set yourself up like that.
He got set up so hard.
It was good. Yeah,
Chipotle knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they're like, this is gonna go crazy.
No so, yeah, it'll be an exciting series. Regardless, it's going 6 at least. It has to.
5
especially
games.
After the finals, the last finals we got, and then 22 was good. 21 sucked. 2020 it was COVID. I hardly remember.
This is an awesome finals though. Like no matter what side you're on,
a good finals.
This is going to be great. Like it's fun. 2 big brands, 2 huge markets, 4 big stars, and like awesome, just recognizable faces and names. Nothing against last year's finals, but not even ESPN took it seriously. Like they presented it every night like it was a regular season game. Like from the voiceovers leading up to it, the advertising, like even the score bug was just the regular old, basic gray regular season one they used. They hyped up the Eastern Conference Finals this year more than they did the last year's finals. I think it's just because it wasn't sexy at all. And
it's like
it wasn't even like great basketball either. Like Miami didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
It's literally exactly what or not exactly, actually not at all. But it's, I was thinking of the NHL avoiding a Stars-Panthers Cup final because that would have been a miserable watch. And now, you have Edmonton, you have Connor McDavid, you're fine.
We're not talking about hockey right now.
I know, but
I would love to engage, but we can't do it. We're on time. We're on minutes restrictions, man.
We are.